Every day, about 250,000 Americans make emergency calls to locksmiths. And now authorities say several companies have been preying on consumers who get locked out. They use similar techniques, and our consumer correspondent Elizabeth Leamy has some of them caught on tape.
No way to take it. I need to twin it.
You're watching a scamming locksmith caught in the act in San Francisco.
Will that cost more?
Yeah.
You bet it'll cost more because he does unnecessary work. He drills the lock.
Hey, you got it.
Puts in a new one and then overcharges as well.
Supposed to be $820 plus tax $70, $890.
$890. A legitimate local locksmith says he could have opened the same door in no time for about $100.
$110 tops, you know, come on.
Complaints about unnecessary work, overcharging, shoddy workmanship, and lowball telephone quotes.
$39 plus $15 and up to open.
It's so bad, the Better Business Bureau calls the problem a nationwide locksmith swindle. Not all ripoffs are huge. They can be $25 or $50. But overall, they may add up to millions. From coast to coast, there are examples caught on tape. Here's one in Seattle.
I told him I didn't have anything on me, and then he hesitantly took $95.
So you think that's fair to people? $95? Yeah. Yeah?
Here's one in Colorado Springs.
Is there a specific way that you need to insert the key, or this is a double-side key? The silver card is $39 and no cut label is $110, okay?
And in Orlando.
I'd like to know why you drilled the locks.
Why?
Yes.
Because I can't open the lock.
And New York City.
It's a lot of money.
These guys mostly target the people on the road or locked out of their house.
People like Ray Miller in suburban Chicago. He locked his keys in his house and had to pay a locksmith $1,700 to get back in.
He came here to do a job and collect his bill. He works on commission.
What's going on here? Authorities say several Israeli-run businesses are among a handful of companies behind the schemes. They've listed themselves online and in the yellow pages under scores of bogus names and addresses, so you think they're located nearby.
When you're locked out and you call, instead of reaching a local locksmith, you reach a call center that could be hundreds of miles away. And then they send their own guys who could have very little training.
The odds of getting a legitimate locksmith are very slim, maybe at most 5% in the bigger cities.
The Better Business Bureau says Dependable in the Bronx, New York is a major reason why locksmith complaints are soaring.
They're definitely one of the larger offenders as far as phony locksmiths go.
I'm making money off of other people's misery, and it's against everything I believe.
Locksmith Shalom Newman told us through mid-2006 he worked for a company the BBB links to Dependable. But he says he had a falling out with the management when their business practices started bothering him.
They just told me to charge as much as I can, to start with a very high number and to pressure the customer to pay that and to go lower if I have to.
Two companies that the BBB calls aliases used by Dependable settled consumer protection lawsuits with the Illinois Attorney General last January.
They would quote people a much lower rate than they ultimately charged them. A lot of the charges were fraudulent.
The companies settled without admitting liability. In a statement, an attorney who represents Dependable told us Dependable is a separate company with no connection to those operations. He said Dependable tries to run a clean business with written estimates, written approvals, and no fictitious addresses.
Is this where you take all the phone calls from all over the country?
But look at the reception WABC reporter Tappy Phillips received from a Dependable manager when she paid an unannounced visit in July.
Hi, how are you? We're from Channel 7. You work here?
No.
Yeah, no, really? That's very interesting. You're just wandering around here. We'd like to talk to someone. The Better Business Bureau has called you very disreputable.
The Better Business Bureau blasts Dependable's record of 51 pending complaints, with 87 others in 2007 to which the company never even responded.
We believe that the number of complaints we've received are just a small sliver of the larger problem.
We can't do Slim Jim on this store.
Running a little bit more than I thought it would.
We have to stop them. They're making all the good locksmiths, seem like crooks.
That's Elizabeth Leamy reporting. Thanks to Elizabeth and that reporter who said, you work here? Yeah, what, are you just wandering around? We do have some tips for you, and we've also learned that Dependable, that company in question, is moving its main call center to Florida, and its attorney says the company has set up a special consumer complaint department there. The question, though, this morning, how do you know if you're dealing with a scammer? Here are the warning signs. They answer the phone usually by simply saying Locksmith. They don't tell you where they are, their exact address, and they're usually evasive when you ask them any kind of questions. So protecting yourself, the best thing is to find a professional locksmith before you actually need one. Program the number into your phone, they say. Also getting a written estimate before the locksmith does any work on your home. And of course, this morning we want to thank our affiliates who helped us with the story, especially KGO in San Francisco and WABC here in New York.